A couple hours before we got on the air here, the Rams made it clear that they are going for it this year. They traded a first-round pick, a couple of other picks for Trent McDuffie, an all-pro cornerback from the Chiefs, 25 years old. The Rams looked at their team, found their weakness, and addressed it. Their secondary was not very good last year. They were not afraid to trade their first-round pick. They went and they got a star player to fill a position of need. The Philadelphia Eagles cannot fall behind. They can't sit here while other teams in the conference are getting better, and the Rams are going to be one of the teams competing to win the NFC next year. The Eagles also have an obvious weakness. It's edge. And we can't just sit here and not address it and cross our fingers that Nolan Smith gets better. The Eagles have to be aggressive. Every year is a Super Bowl year for the Eagles. So go trade a first-round pick for Max Crosby. Do something. Get me a star player there. This could be Lane Johnson's last year. Who knows how much longer Saquon Barkley is going to be good. We think these things last forever. Mm-hmm. They don't last forever. This is a year they can go win the Super Bowl. They have an obvious weakness. Do what the Rams did. Keep up with them. Go address your position of need. Trade a pick if you got to. Go get me a star player at edge.
Yeah, I hear you, and I saw that trade with the Rams, and I'm like, wow. The Rams they're going for it. Listen, they gave up a lot to get Trent Duffie over there. Is it McDuffie? It's McDuffie, yeah. Yes. Trent McDuffie over there. And you're talking about a young corner who has number one corner shutdown capability. Yep. And they address the weakness. I can totally understand it and see it from the Rams' point of view. They won the Super Bowl, 4 years ago?
4 years ago. By going for it as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Bleep them picks. We all remember. Remember. And I thought it was a prudent move by the Rams then, and it paid off for them. And regardless of how many picks they gave up, the fact that they won. Right. So it was well worth it. Yep. I get it. The difference with the Eagles, and I know this is not comfortable for people to hear, they're not necessarily in that do-or-die position. They just won the Super Bowl a year ago. They've been there twice in the last 4 years, right? And so they have to look at this thing in a way, not that they don't care about competing this year. That's not the message I want to put out there. I know that's not the message the Eagles want. But the idea that we're doing everything that we potentially can to try to go win this year, I'm not on board with that. I don't think that's logical thinking. If you can get it done by being prudent and smart with your draft capital, with your salary cap, where you're dispersing your money on the team, I'm more than okay with that. If you can do it under your terms. But this idea that you need to keep up with the Joneses or this is an arms race to try to get the Super Bowl next year, the Eagles don't have to act in that desperation of a move. Some would say the Rams gave up a ton to get Trent McDuffie.
They did.
Is that going to be the difference between them getting to a Super Bowl this year?
They're certainly trying, and
I mean they didn't lose to Seattle because Sam Darnold was carving them up.
Yes,
yeah. No, you're right.
Their secondary was bad.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. They were. Yeah. Secondary was bad. It's obviously a move they thought was necessary to do.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't think the Eagles are in that position to have to do that. When I look at the Eagles and the Rams, right? The Eagles have a better defense by far. The Rams have a better offense by far. I think you can close the gap between the Eagles' offense with the Rams just as much as the Rams are trying to close the gap with Seattle.
And how are the Eagles going to close that gap?
By playing better.
Well, that's
by playing better. Like talent-wise, they're already there. They're already there talent-wise. And here's the other thing I'm going to throw in there. Because the AJ situation is sort of a sticking point. You trade AJ, then I don't see how your expectations couldn't be lowered. Now, you keep AJ, there's an argument for why you should have the same expectations because you're pretty much bringing back the same offensive personnel outside of Dallas Goedert as of right now, who we may think he may not be back, although Elliott said he could be back. I'm just simply saying, depending on what the Eagles do with their personnel of keeping guys, that would determine how much I'm going all in to try to win next year. I don't know the Rams' personnel situation. Maybe they feel like that's all they need. They have everybody else under contract. They're not losing anybody. They're not about to trade Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua is not asking to be traded, right? They still have Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. They got a trio of tight ends that aren't big names, but they're very productive. So from an offensive standpoint, they're pretty much intact already. Quarterback is coming back. Defensively, they're trying to improve. I don't know how much Trent McDuffie makes them better. We'll find out. And we'll see if it was worth all those picks. I'm saying the Eagles aren't desperate to the point the Rams feel that they are.
You know what, though?
They may have overpaid for Trent McDuffie. Would you have given all that up for Trent McDuffie?
If I thought it gave me a chance of winning a Super Bowl this year, yes, because this is too many. We went through this last offseason. Yeah. And we went through an offseason where everybody said, well, we just won the Super Bowl, so everything that the team does, they're going to bargain basement shop, they're going to find another Zach Bond, blah, 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 blah. And they did, and none of them worked. And what happened? They ended up having to trade picks for Jalen Phillips. They had to trade picks for 2 cornerbacks. They traded a pick for a safety who never played here. They signed a Zadarius Smith off the scrap heap. All these things that they could have addressed in the offseason, and they didn't do it.
And their defense wasn't their issue. And they brought everybody back offensively, and that was the issue. They brought everybody back from an offense that had the number 1 rushing offense, the number 7 scoring offense, 2 receivers with over 1,000 yards, and that was the issue with the team this year. The offense was. It wasn't the defense. All the changes they had to make, the upgrades they had to make, the bargain basement prices they set out there for Ojulari and Uche and Zadarius Smith, bringing BG back, all of that, they still finished as a top 5 defense. That wasn't the issue. It was the guys they actually brought back that we thought was supposed to be a strength and carry the team. It was the offense that was the issue. Wasn't the defense. The offense was the issue last year.
Here's what's going to happen. Jalen Phillips is going to get signed by somebody else, and we're going to go into next year with Nolan Smith, Jalex Hunt, and Brandon Graham as your 3 edges. And that is not dominant defense. And the other thing is like this whole thing where they won the Super Bowl a year ago, so they can just take the year off and then take another year off and not go for it. You never know what the future holds. You never know what big injury is going to happen. You never know when Lane Johnson is going to retire. They have an opportunity now, and the other teams in the conference are going to get better, and the Eagles are going to sit there and tell us that they got to pay guys in 2 years. If a first-round pick gets you Max Crosby, I know Max Crosby is really good. I don't know what I'm getting with that first-round pick.
You might give up 2. Well, would you give up 2 first? Well, I'm just saying we're saying first round pick, but the Raiders may be saying no. It's going to take 2 first round picks.
Well, I have no idea. All I know is that what is going to happen is they're going to bargain basement shop again, and it doesn't get the job done, and they're going to spend the whole year trying to fix it again. And who knows how long this team's going to have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl? They should capitalize on it now.
If next year has to be a year that I step back to take 2 steps forward, then I'm okay with that.
I am not.
I'm okay. And here's the thing what I mean by step back. I don't mean step back from what they did this past year. I mean step back from the expectations. I want to make that clear. I'm not talking about a step, because what they did this past year wasn't acceptable. This is a team that should be a playoff team every year, should be a favorite in the NFC East every year. They are still in that realm right now, the way they're presently constructed. Win the division, win a home playoff game. Let's see where it goes from there. You have cap space. You got room to sign your own players, and you're set for years moving forward. The idea that next year has to be the year, it's the same way I'm with the Phillies. Just going to enjoy these teams.
Well, you're happy being a playoff team. I want them to be a Super Bowl team. There's the difference.
Yeah.
215-592-9494. Should the Eagles be being aggressive this offseason and trying to fill holes, or are you okay with them sort of slow playing it and seeing how it evolves? I think they should go for it. They have an obvious weakness. It's edge. Max Crosby sitting there. Go get him.